Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fandom Frequency Network, where we break down everything in the multiverse of fandom and pop culture, baby. Make sure you click the like, make sure you click the subscribe button, and all that good jazz here on the YouTube. Helps the show out immensely, man. We've been growing so much lately, and it's all thanks to you, lovely supporters out there, y'all. So let's keep this community growing and keep on clicking those buttons, man. And if you're listening on the audio, baby, you're listening on the podcast feed, make sure you follow and download. You follow the feed and then you download all the individual episodes you listen to from here on out. It definitely is going to help the show grow. It's going to let the other people know, and you can bump it and throw it on your playlist and let your other homies and all your coworkers and all your friends and all your family members know about the Phantom Frequency, baby. And for all you new people, as I've said up top here, we cover all kinds of stuff in the world of pop culture, and this is another one of our weekly recaps. For these type of series that drop episodes once a week, we're going to do recaps on the day of or the day after, but for this one, we do it on the day of, baby, every single Wednesday. Make sure you're tuning in here, and you ain't missing out on these weekly recaps for That's It, That's Right, Andor, baby, episode 9. We're like 70% of the way there, some shit like that, man. We are more than halfway through the series now, and I've been having a hell of a good time with it. Unfortunately, I couldn't have my co-pilot with me, Skippy, today, but no worries, man. We had to push it back. We had to get around some scheduling conflicts and all that shit, but we gonna hold it down, and we gonna keep it consistent, and we gonna keep it rocking and rolling for y'all. So let's get right into it, and up top here with my general thoughts. I dug the episode overall, man. I dug the episode overall. Didn't necessarily blow me away or anything like that, but the episode was damn good. It was a lot of compelling stuff going on for the storylines and a lot of great character development going on in this series, and that's the number one thing I love about this series, man. A lot of great character development is going on all the time. It is fantastic, dude. I love it. I love it. And yeah, but some of my favorite moments or some of the stuff that stuck out to me the most was definitely all the stuff going on with those two characters right there in Andor and Kino, played by the great Andy Serkis right there. And him and Diego Luna have such great chemistry together on screen as these two characters, and you get a lot of great development going on there with them. I love the whole way that Andor is kind of keeping tabs on everything and kind of formulating his escape plan. Gonna get that jailbreak going next episode, so love how he's getting all that planned and all that stuff popping off. And a lot of interesting stuff once again going on with none other than Mon Mothma and this character right here, Vel. But we are going to get into that very, very soon, y'all. Very, very soon. So, with no further ado, yeah, we're gonna get right into this recap portion of it right here, and we pick up the episode with none other than the ISB manager, a worker, employee, if you will, Deidre, interrogating none other than Bix Kayleen there, played by the fantastically talented Adria Arjonia, and she is fucking phenomenal, man. I love her in this role right here, and her getting interrogated by Deidre right there to y'all's left. And yeah, so all the crazy stuff going on with her. She's trying to figure out the information about, as they call him, Axis, which, as we know, is Luthen. She's trying to figure out his whereabouts, where is he at, what's his motive, what are the plans of the rebellion overall, what's the overall end game, and all that stuff. And she knows everything, man. She's been keeping tabs on them like a motherfucker, man, like a motherfucker, because she knows that they've met exactly 6 times before. She's also aware that she has sent out signals for him, on the intercom thing or whatever, as we saw in the last episode when she was trying to reach out to Cassian about his mom Marva, because she's getting very ill, but unfortunately he got wrongfully imprisoned and he's still dealing with that. And it's been several weeks or something like that. Like, it's been a minute since he's been in there, so we haven't even caught up with Marva yet, so don't really know what her status is at the moment. But as we know it, Bix, our girl there, she is fucked, man, because she is definitely going to be getting tortured right now, because Deidre brings in the crazy cuckoo scientist guy, Doc Brown gone wrong and shit in space. And he's like, ooh, thank you, I can finally torture her. And they put on the device, the head thing. And as you hear her screams start off, man, as she starts getting tortured, we transition into the next scene over there with Cassian working in the prison as he has been for the last little bit, you know what I'm saying? And that's when you get all the great confrontations with him and Kino starting off there, and they're all trying to work, do their thing, work as usual, just another day in the life of the Chain Gang, whatever the fuck, And once they're done doing all that, man, we actually head over back to Bix real quick. As the guys are making their ways back to their cells and everything, we jump over to Bix again right after the torture's taking place, and thank God we didn't have to witness it on some jigsaw shit, you know what I'm saying? And after that, we pick up with that, and then Deidre is actually going to take off at that moment, and she tells the guy working there or whatever, make sure you keep her alive because she's going to be our witness. He's like, oh, wait, she's not going to be our prisoner? Nah, we need her to be able to testify because she's seen Axis and she's the only one that can identify him, so we need to keep her alive and keep her in good shape. Don't fuck with her too much. And he's like, hey, do you mind if I hang that guy over there real quick? I want to show him who's boss. And she's like, yeah, do whatever the hell you want, man. And that's when you really do truly see the dark side of this character of Deidre. And that's another big positive for me going into this episode overall, is that character right there, and all the great sinister developments you get with her throughout this episode is really, really good, man. Like, I'm just like, oh shit, you don't want to fuck with her. Let me tell you now, you don't want to fuck with her for sure. And then we jump back, and then we jump on over to our friendly neighborhood senator over here, Mon Mothma. She's over there in another looks like Republic-esque type of big old meeting there in the little floaty room, as I like to say, the little floating car room over there in Coruscant, and she's over there pleading with the people like, hey, we can't be going with this crazy ass public safety legislation that the emperor just passed, where if you fucking tie your shoes and trip on them afterwards, you get 10 months and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you get like 10 years for like stealing, like petty theft and shit. Like, we can't have this guy just doing this shit, guys. Like, there's got to be, we got to draw the line somewhere. And everyone's like, fuck off, dude. The Empire pays me well. What the hell are you doing? Like, what have you done for me lately? You know what I'm saying? It's like some Hollywood shit. Like, what have you done for me lately? Like, that's all they care about. And people just want to get their leg up and get that step ahead and provide for the fam and all that other shit, bro. Like, they ain't even worried about liberty. They ain't even worried about justice. They ain't worried about freedoms. They're not worried about rights. You know what I'm saying? They're just all caught up in that. So that's all the people seem to be thinking about. And all this stuff politically for Mon Mothma has just been kind of getting worse and worse for her, man. Like, she can't really work the things and get the kind of progress that she's trying to get made in the way that she's doing it, you know what I'm saying? And as she sees with the other rebels that are really starting to get their hands dirty, really starting to really make a stand and really get dangerous and really take all the risk and risk it all and really get out there, boots on the ground and shit. Now she's starting to see that maybe her approach might not be working, you know, it might not be as effective as she was hoping or thinks it was, you know what I'm saying? But as we move on from there, we pick up with Andor and the other prisoners again, and as they're making their way back with their hands on their head and all that shit, level 2 is having a holdup, which is going to hold up all the rest of the line. They're like, oh shit, what the hell's going on? And then, and everyone's starting to get a little concerned because this isn't necessarily normal protocol. You know what I'm saying? It's a little long, and we're not getting any contacts. People seem to be trying to reach out, but they're not letting it through. And then Kino's getting on everybody's asses like, hey, quit fucking around. You know what I'm saying? It always takes like 2 weeks for them to get any message across here. It doesn't matter. Just get back in line and shit. And then the people tell them, and then, the overcom comes on, and they're like, well, everyone get back in line, or we're going to start shocking the hell out of you again at random, so don't fuck around. And then they all got to get back in line and get back behaved and shit. But everyone knows for sure, even though Kino's trying to kind of live in denial with it, they're very well aware that something's going down, you know what I'm saying? And they gotta, and they know something's off because the power goes off real quick, and it's just pitch black in there, and then it comes back on, and they're like, that doesn't normally happen either, just for having to discipline a couple prisoners out of line, you know what I'm saying? So they know something's afoot, and something is definitely afoot. That is for damn sure. But Kino thinks if he just sticks to the rules and keeps his head down, he'll get his sentence, and then he'll just be able to be free once again. But we find out later on that's not necessarily the case for him or anyone else in there. But as we continue here, without jumping too far ahead, Mon Mothma's on her way home, and her driver alerts her that her cousin's there to meet up with her. And it's very heavily implied that it's Vel, but we don't necessarily see her at first, but you'll find out very soon enough. It's Vel, you know what I'm saying? And that was one of my other favorite developments of this particular episode, was getting to find out that they're related and all that shit, and that they kind of come from similar backgrounds, and they're both kind of branching off and taking similar but different approaches to wanting to get back at the rebellion. I mean, get back at the Empire by joining the rebellion, but one's willing to take more risk than the other, and it's very interesting getting to see their back and forth, and that whole development really fleshes out their characters and really makes sense for where those characters are at right now, and kind of makes sense to what brought them there in the first place and everything like that, and just kind of gives it a very simple explanation while expanding the lore a little bit, you know what I'm saying, without necessarily getting too deep or getting too complicated or caught up in the backstory. It's just a little bit of that background information, just fleshing them both out right there. And I thought that was really, really interesting. And I didn't necessarily see that coming either. I just knew that because they did name drop, or not name drop, but they did sentiment mentioned in the last episode that Vel is a rich girl and whatnot. So it all kind of makes sense that they would come from similar family backgrounds and whatnot. But she didn't get married off and go down that politician route in the same way that Mon did. So it's very interesting to see how that all develops there. And then Andor's back in the cell with the other prisoners and all that stuff. And he's like, hey, man, I'm trying to figure out, hey, Kino, let a brother know how many guards are usually up there, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a plan together. Wink, wink. And he's like, nah, bro, fuck off. And he's like, come on, dude. No one's listening to us down here. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's fucking listening. And then he's like, whatever. And the guy, like I said, Kino's just trying to stay on the straight and narrow, man. He ain't trying to let nobody jeopardize his, his sentence and whatnot. So he's just trying to stick to the rules. But Andor's right, man. Nobody's listening. These motherfuckers could care less. Y'all are the bottom of the barrel. You're here's the dirt. Y'all below the dirt. You know what I mean? So that's the whole dynamic and vibe they got going on. But then we jump back over to our girls here with our ladies here with Mon Mothma and Vel getting catching up a little bit around the dinner table. You know what I'm saying? And then her getting introduced to Mon Mothma's daughter and all that stuff. And I don't know if that would be her niece technically, whatever, but you know what I'm saying, her other relative essentially, and they continue having their conversation from there. And then Mon also mentions to Vel before she takes off, because Vel's like, oh yeah, I just came to check up on you and see how everyone's been doing and all that. And then Mon's like, well, I'm aware of what you've been doing and it's fucking getting risky, man. Are you sure you want to go all the way through with this? Like, are you sure you want to do this? And she's like, hell yeah. I'm down for the cause, you know what I'm saying? Till the death, you know what I mean? So Mon's like, all right, cool. If you're going to do that, make sure you keep up your facade of the rich girl, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you keep up the facade of the politician family in the background and all that shit that I got going on. You got to keep up the facade so then people don't necessarily suspect you for being involved with the Empire. With the rebellion, you know what I'm saying? Because you definitely ain't going to be seeming like pro-Empire if you keep up the way you've been doing it. Going missing for a period of time from the particular background that she's from is definitely a big deal and could be a big red flag right there. So, and it also endangers Mon Mothma and what she's got going on. So it's definitely something in a little bit of self-interest itself. But that's always politics, baby. It's always going to be beneficial for both sides in some kind of fashion, or at least serving to the other side if they're going to propose something that's going to help. That's part of the compromise, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So all that is definitely very interesting in the way that was panning out and how that's all kind of coming together. And as Andor starts devising his plan to escape and everything like that, Cyril, we actually jump over back to Cyril for a little bit, who's actually gotten a promotion, and he actually tells his mom about it, and she's all happy and shit and no longer roasting him like she was a few episodes ago, because I'm telling you, she was going full on the roast of Cyril on this motherfucker, bro. Like, she was on Comedy Central, man. She was going in on this guy. But now she's all happy, and she's like, oh, Uncle Murillo, he'll be proud and all this shit, so she's all happy for him and all that. And then Cyril's over there being a creep with Deidre later on. He's like, hey, thanks for giving me the job and all that stuff. And she's like, whoa, bro, like, you need to calm your jets. You know what I'm saying? You need to back off a little bit. Let's not get too crazy here, And then shortly after that, we jump over back to our inmates and everything. And Olaf is actually not seeming to be doing well while he's working on the line. And he's like, hey, don't be slowing down because of me. I'm trying to win this shit, baby. Let's go. Like, let's keep it moving. And as they're continuing to try to do it, he ends up almost straight up collapsing. And Andor, Cassian, he has to help him up and try to save him and everything. And then he holds him up for a bit, but it's just too much because he ends up having like a massive stroke right there, unbeknownst to them at the time. And then they're like, oh, shit, man. Then he's trying to hide and kind of cover for him so that way the guards don't come for him or try to harm him or do anything to him because he's already in obviously a really bad state. And then Andor and Kino get him off, get him in the hallway and try to and plead with the guards to be able to get them a medic and everything. And that's when this guy comes into play. And this character really definitely brings a lot of, he's kind of the harbinger of doom in this one for sure, man, because he comes with all the medical kit and all that shit. And he's all looking at the guy and then they're like, hey, so you're going to be able to save him or what? He's like, maybe we'll see. Let me look at him. He's like, oh, wait, nope, nothing here. Nothing, not even worth saving. And they're like, hey, what the fuck? What happened? He's like, he had a massive stroke, bro. He's gonna die like any second, man. I'm gonna put him to sleep. Essentially, he won't feel a thing, and he's gonna get to go out peacefully. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, I guess. And Andor at first was like, what the fuck? Why? And they're not necessarily on board with it, but they know they don't really have any other choice in the matter at this point. And then he ends up putting him down with the shot thing or whatever when he shoots it into his arm. And that's it for our boy Olaf, man, on some straight up Shawshank Redemption stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was right there, close to getting out, and it just didn't work out. But it was still tragic, but not tragic in the same way as that movie. And if you ain't seen that,
You need to go check that one out for sure. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand here, and they keep asking the inmate, like, hey, man, ain't you from level 2? Like, what the hell happened on level 2 today, bro? Like, there's some weird shit going down. You need to spill the beans, yo. And he's trying to get around the subject, like, hey, get the bag and get the shit. And the guy's like, it's coming. Quit bitching at me, bro. And then they're like, hey, man, let us know what the fuck is going on level 2, bro. Spill the fucking beans. And he's like, fine, here's what's going on. They killed a bunch of people. Nobody's going to make it out of here alive. Not me, not you, not any of us. And they're like, oh, shit, what? And then freaking Kino's world just comes crashing down, man. The sky is falling on this guy because ain't nobody getting out of this shit alive. You know what I'm saying? And that whole reveal right there in and of itself is just tragic, bro. Like all the stuff he's been working towards all this time, and who knows how long he's been in there. You know what I'm saying? Possibly years. And then it's like all for naught because nobody that goes in there is coming out. And it's like, oh, shit. So now they're both on a mutual understanding, unbeknownst to everyone else around them, that, okay, it's time for a jailbreak, baby. And he's like, well, you want to tell me how many guards are around there now? And he's like, no more than 12, bruh. Let's get the fuck up out of here, is essentially what he's saying. And then you cut to black. And that's it for the episode, boy. And let me tell you what. That was a damn good episode, man. Like I said, might be my least favorite in a while because it wasn't necessarily as compelling as the couple before it. But it was still very interesting, still setting the table for a lot of interesting stuff to go on. Some really key elements in there. Some tragic moments for sure between Bix's torture and the death of Olaf. You know what I'm saying? And the whole reveal of anyone going in that prison ain't coming out, boy. So now the jailbreak is now or never, baby. They got to do it or that's it. And we know our boy ain't going out yet because he doesn't go out till he's on the beaches of Scarif. So we know he's going to make it to see another day, but we got to figure out and we got to see how it's all going to go down. And I want to hear from y'all in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this latest episode, man. I want to hear from you, all you beautiful people out there, all you fellow Star Wars fans and all of that. I want to hear what you've been thinking about it. And if it's been a little bit underwhelming for you and you haven't necessarily been digging the series like that, I would love to hear about that as well. And I would love for y'all to fill us in and let us know how you're feeling about Andor, this episode overall, the series. Where does it place for you amongst the other live action Star Wars series in this new Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Disney Plus era? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all are thinking down below in the comments. We appreciate each and every one of you watchers and listeners that's been sticking with us all 8 weeks in a row now, making this the 9th. We appreciate and love every one of you. But for all you new people that are just joining us for the first time this week, today, tonight, whenever you're watching this in the future, stick with us on the whole run, baby. We got 3 more episodes to get into. We're doing all 12 episodes of the season 1 run, you know what I'm saying? And all these weekly series like this, as many as we can, we're going to be covering them every single week. So come back for those weekly recaps, baby. We're going to have it right here, man. And make sure you check out our long form content as well, the Phantom Frequency Show, where we get into all kinds of pop culture goodness, baby. We break down multiple reviews, pop culture news topics, multiple segments and all that. So we have a lot of fun with that over there. And it just premiered with the Halloween special this past Monday. Make sure you check that out. And we got a lot more content coming at you. It's going to be a little slower paced than it was the last couple months because now there's a lot less stuff coming out. But we still got some special plans, new content that we're going to be premiering soon between now and the holiday season. And we got a lot of holiday season Christmas stuff planned. So don't you be sleeping on us for the rest of 2022, y'all. We only getting started. And the channel is going to be growing slowly but surely. But it's been growing because of every single one of you beautiful subscribers and watchers and listeners. So thank you very much. And make sure you new people stick around, man. We're going to have a lot of fun here on the channel. And it's only the beginning. So until we see you guys next week for Andor or any other time in the future, make sure you stay safe, stay tuned, don't sleep, much love, and may the Force be with you always.